The favourite bounded away, 350 to go. Avocado Sunset, 3 in front. Second, the outside, Cragley, Daniel Surbiton. He's starting to put in the big bounds down the Hey Diddle Diddle. Avocado Sunset, the leader. Surbiton's coming fast. Avocado Sunset hanging on. Late Beyond Reproach. Avocado Sunset in front and landed the money. Defeated Beyond Reproach. Surbiton third. Didn't quite finish it off. Cragley, Daniel 4. Shaney Beach and Raged. The next one in Not a Single Day. In memory of a mate, Emma
Shane
Rocket.
Ciurleo,
The last one
Curly
to clock in.
Thoroughbreds. Bloody outstanding curls. Heavy track, again, probably not entirely suited. Will improve, I'm sure, but knocked off the first win there for Avocado Sunset.
Yeah, lovely to see him break his maiden. I think I spoke to Jared Wheeler, the trainer, and he sort of said, he reckons the horse is a lot better than what it's shown on Saturday too, because he's a speed horse. He just needs to get on a firm track. So done a good job. He went down and he travelled like 6 hours or 7 hours to get down to Merwillenbar for his debut run and struck a heavy 10, and then up to Mackay for his second start on another rain-affected track. So he'll go through his grades up there, I reckon. Just enjoy the ride, I suppose.
He could be the next, what was that really good Rockhampton horse, our boy Malachi? Was that the one?
Yeah, well, he won a group. He'd come down and won a Stradbroke or something in Group 1, didn't it? Then went to Sydney, so...
All right.
The North Queenslanders are producing a few nice horses. The Harrovians down in Melbourne for the All-Star Mile, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so, yep. They're punching above their average, as they always do, the North Queenslanders.
I don't have any massive goals for this horse. The Magic Millions Country Cup in 2022 is what. See if there's any markets. There's an early tip for you.
Okay, very good. Jack Dickens, welcome back to the Mailbags Review Deep Dive, as we call it.
Thank you, Peter. I can't see your head, mate.
That's all right. I'm sure it's
I
there
want to
somewhere.
see your head.
Is that because I am hidden, or have you not blown up your screen enough?
I don't think your camera's on.
No, I can see you.
Okay. Oh, never mind. Us just
There you go.
difficulties
I can see
here.
ya.
Oh, I'm back. Dickens, how do you see Caulfield?
I think pretty disappointing track pattern, really. But disappointed not to cash in on it, really. It was a nice, predictable pattern. Regret not sort of going against the flow there at the death as they sort of all rode for it, and sort of the rails in run line was actually 3 wide line sort of thing towards the end. I think it's a really good meeting to review because it was a fast track. They run big time. I think it'll be a really good fall meeting. It's going to be... I'd say I won't finish reviewing it another like 6 or 7 hours, but it'll be worthwhile because they're fast horses. They run big time, and there's plenty of like hidden runs here. So we're only going to review the Group 1s from Caulfield, and there's plenty of fat in that alone, but should be good.
Again, like we've mentioned this quite a few times, you just have a look at the punting form results list for Caulfield. You've got the lanes where they were sitting at the 800, 600, 400, 200. At the 600, every single winner was lane 3 or wider, and then the last 200, you had to be between lanes 4 to 10. So it's just a good little summary of how the pattern unfolded, so to speak. You certainly couldn't be too wide in the straight, but equally you couldn't be too inside. Let's start with the Futurity, Probabile 1. In the yard, I think it's fair to say that Probabile and Arcadia Queen looked lengths above any of the others. So the early bet on Behemoth went by the wayside, just, I guess, given the way the track was playing, but also the way that they parade in the yard.
Yeah, and I don't think... 9-horse field, we've got like, Sosie Vaughn, Mr. Quickie, Arcadia Queen, Probabile, Too Close to the Sun, Old Kirk, Behemoth. To me, that doesn't scream like speed, which was a factor to leaning towards Behemoth here, who had the tactical speed and would be close enough, which normally would be a good spot to be at Caulfield. Obviously, the track's raced for the swoop, but they have gone so fast here that the more genuine horses, the horses that want 1,600 and longer, I think had more advantage than I thought they would pre-race. I think Mr. Quickie's run home so strong, fresh, is a pretty big tell here. I thought even down to Old Kirk, it wasn't a bad performance from it. It just got through its work. Fair enough. It was down on the shitty inside part of the track. I'll be careful with Mr. Quickie next start. I think that Probable's run is just so genuine. That's two big runs and big wins from two. But wherever Arcadia Queen goes, well, we probably talked about this on the show, or with Gareth on RSN. But it sort of did what we expected. A big performance. First up, looks like it's on track. I think it's probably the best horse in Australia, 1,600 and up.
Yeah, and it's clearly the best I've seen her first up. She's strengthened up again, still had improvement. Basically, it's just her, still got very fizzy, but she's come back incredibly well. I think Probable still has a bit more improvement to come as well. I think both of those are going to the All-Star Mile, where you'd have to think that would be pretty difficult to beat if they've got any sort of gate, but, that's just
I think
noise,
Behemoth's one if your future's better and you've had something on Behemoth to win the All-Star Mile, that's where it's going, isn't it? I'm sure it is. Your one sort of saving grace is it's at Moonee Valley, and it could be severely suited by the pattern there that day.
Yep.
But likely they overdo it in that race again, and that'll just suit these big beasts.
Curls, I want to bring you in for a sec. What do you do? How do you review the form, and how much of a bonus / penalty do you give to horses that were in the right part of the track or wrong part of the track on these sort of days?
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, I don't know. I suppose you've got the track factor. If we're just talking about this race in particular, hindsight's a wonderful thing, but lining on, if you lined up those first four past the first four home in that race, if you talked about them as horses pre-race, with the right setup, they've probably finished in order, have they?
Over 1,400, I would say so. Yeah.
I think Behemoth is and Behemoth has run bigger figures over 400 metres. So Behemoth might have run a 14.6 or something, same track and trip, right?
Yeah. So he's
probably has run a 14.2. So if he runs to what he can do on a Caulfield that suits him, he can win this. But
so I'm used to doing this at, say, Warwick, right? and I do use that, and I do have a look at how a horse has ran in the past and how it's ran off that run in the inferior part of the track. So you can make a plausible case here that Behemoth was 3 lengths disadvantaged. Yeah. Yeah. That's how I normally do it. Now, obviously, you've got to take into try and work out, it's hard to say. I don't know what sort of the right words to use, but if it had its chance, it travelled in the run, and you can only go on what you see, and it's run a figure, same track and trip that was 3 lengths better than this, and there looked to be no obvious issues in run apart from just where he was on the track. You can argue that he was 3 lengths worse. Was 3 lengths worse than what he's done in the past. So you could argue that the track was a 3 length disadvantage where he was in run.
Yeah, I think you can firmly argue it. So you look at last preparation, he was first up in Morphettville. He had a barrier 4, ran a figure, whatever. Then he went to Caulfield second up, 400 metres, barrier 2, ran a figure of 14.2, which dead heats this race. Same setup this year, barrier 2, Caulfield. He went slower this year to the 600 than the last prep. But just couldn't finish off. Maybe it's because of the going that he was going through along the rails and run passage, I guess.
The other difference was last prep he was going out of a fast run race, so I guess he probably had a little bit more of a platform to come off as opposed to a very slow race first up this prep. So potentially as well that didn't suit him when it came to coming up against some of the stronger. I mean, Probably also had that first up run where she recorded a good figure, 3 wide, no cover. So, I guess that little bit of conditioning probably helped as well. Because he did look, I know he's a big gross thing anyway, but even for him, he looked pretty, bit fat, to be honest.
I think that's the thing that was, that we missed, undervalued, was he came out of a big, fast run race last prep, and he didn't this prep.
Yeah.
But it was 1,100 up to 400 that time. It was 12 to 14 this time.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I suppose I hope this makes sense what I'm trying to say. So I like looking at those sort of horses that I just make a note disadvantaged in run, right, or disadvantaged. It's hard to get a gauge exactly how disadvantaged until it has another start. Like that disadvantaged run, you want to look back in 2 runs' time, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So if Behemoth improves next start, you can come back, you can say 2 things: track or that soft run first up.
And I think if you're playing at home and interested in how we do it, I think a key part to that is you start to see, say, 5 to 7, 10 horses from this meeting come out next start, and then you can start to draw the line, and you can sometimes get lucky or unlucky in that you get a good guide from horses that aren't that interesting to you as a bet, but it solidifies your opinion, and then you might get that horse like a Dirty Work who was just completely not suited. And if you can see a sample size of 7 to 10 that have come out of this meeting and have improved off a shitty run, you can sort of really horn up and bet up at a horse like Dirty Work who wasn't suited, was good, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, there's a stack more boxes that need to be ticked, in my opinion. You need to think it's going to be suited at the next start. The market needs to let you be able to bet at that price. They might think what you think when they open the prices, and there's no spoil there. Everything's got a price.
Yeah, I think that's a good call, though. Getting your sample size of horses that weren't suited and seeing what the market does with them next start as well, whether it overcompensates or undercompensates, that will be part of the game.
I'll tell you what the market did there. The market did in that race, Pistol Late, was get it right.
Yeah.
The first 2 horses were very firm late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Extremely firm late.
Yeah. And like I said, they were the 2 clear picks out of the yard. Race 7, the Blue Diamond.
Just one more. So, pick at the yard. Is that also though because he's a bit of a big fat gelding pig? Like he's just a beast, this thing, or and therefore do you maybe give him more credit that he could improve because they're all going to head to the same race, aren't they?
Yep.
Or is Arcadia Queen just a pick of the yard because she's like a Velociraptor, which is an upgrade from a Panther? I expect people to start saying that in a few years. And she's just not going to be beaten.
It was mental, it was walk, it was fitness, it was temperament, it was all of those things. I wouldn't, and type as well. The 2 mares are clearly better types, more versatile types. Not to say that Behemoth's a bad type. He's a really strong character, but he needs the right track to be suited.
It's a Group 1. Sosie Bond's one of the nicest braids of all time.
Yeah, but you get a benchmark on him, and he does the same thing every time, doesn't he?
Mr. Quickie's a great braider.
Yeah. He had a lot of improvement to come as well, but he sort of did that last prep, didn't he? He ran really well first up, and then sort of tailed it off.
He got me horned up for the whole prep, and
then eventually won.
And then we fucking dogged him when he came out and run a figure of 38.
Yeah. All right, let's get into the Blue Diamond because this race was a little bit of chaos. Anthar's ride, it was sitting in lane 12 at the 1,000 at the 800, lane 8 at the 600, and then gradually came back in a little bit more over the concluding stages.
Great starting point. Firstly, what do you think of the ride on the favourite?
It was like Vorster on Sunlight. Remember that in Adelaide, where he's basically just gone 18 wide for the entire time, and
the biggest shins in racing.
Yeah, it was that fast lane out wide. They thought, never mind racing, an extra 100 metres versus every other horse in the field.
I really like Baron. I reckon he's so with it in life that he's decided, fuck the price money. I'm not going near that COVID hotspot. I'm just going to sit here and enjoy my life. I love that.
Yeah.
Good on you, Baron.
But what did you think of Enthar and the ride? Oh, it was enterprising, that's for sure.
I thought the ride was like perfection, and if I was on it, which I wasn't, I think you have to judge rides if you backed them, and like you got to make your decision like the 600. You can't watch the race, go back, and then judge the ride.
Yeah.
Because he's making the decision as he goes. I want him just to let the horse get into its work, roll forward, catch me if you can. Great ride. The horse wasn't good enough. General Bow, belted this horse. Had a severely inferior run, given the way the track played, and was stronger than it through the line. General Bow is probably the stiffest horse in this race. Curly ride?
Perfectly fine. I see it. It probably looked a little bit more extravagant because of the gate, but there's nothing. But you see it often. These good jocks, they want to cut down towards the inside at the apex of the corner. They're in no rush to hunt this. This horse travels strong anyway. You give this horse a dig out of the gates, it's going to go out in -15.
Yeah, so because they jump here and they have one big turn, and then they go to the straight. So he wasn't like wide and turning. They were just going from like 4 or 5 metres apart to a corner. So it looks like he's heaps far out, but he's not. I think the ride was really, really good.
It was perfect. And obviously he's tried to get her to relax as much as possible and never gave her a kick in the guts to try and get her to cross. But she still just wanted to drop her head and charge, sort of. Anyway, look, we see this a bit. I don't know. There'd be someone out there that would be making money just laying horses off 1,000-metre form. We've heard it plenty of times. Young horses at 1,000 metres getting found out once they step to 1,200. Heard this all before. This horse was winning the slipper off that Kensington trial win back in August, September. Sorry, that's the Spruik follows it. I don't know. It's just like some kind of demon curse, is it? Had its issues with that, lame and the potential lameness. The horses at the beach.
I think personally, you guys as well, because you were done it if I said to. We've got to thank the stewards because they saved us 4 or 5 units here.
I mean, having said that, it was $3 Saturday race day morning, and then it just jumped between $2.30 and $2.40 or so.
How did it parade?
Look, it was fine. I was really watching that near 4 to see if there was any sign of sharply putting the near 4 down on the ground, and not really. It travelled with the double strappers, walked okay, good condition. If you liked it, you would have given it a tick.
It's improved. It's improved. It's run a PB of its life. It's improved its overall figure. It's just there's a horse here that's improved 10 lengths, and Luke Curry's first and second. Luke Curry and Pike. There's two of the better rides you'll ever see.
It was outstanding, wasn't it?
Particularly Luke Curry. Pike's ride was brilliant because he just kept it simple. Used a bit of speed, found a great spot with cover, stalked. Great ride, Pike. But Luke Curry could have half played it safe and followed Ollie via the car park from a wide draw with no speed, which is what they're going to do 8 times out of 10. But he rode for luck and got it, and it was the ride wins this race. A safer ride loses this race. It's a big run. And you're thinking size and all those sort of things, or he doesn't get the luck and he gets cursed. But the decision to go up the inside was the right one, regardless of what happened.
Yeah,
it does sort of like sometimes you just scratch your head when you look at the data and you look at it scoring 16 lengths quicker on the ratings. This start to last start.
It was the only horse in the race back in trip. Coming off the Sandown form's hard to sort of figure out. I always find, and
I didn't do a lot in the race, but I had a bloke at the track that sat behind me, just non-stop yammering, and was telling me before the race that you only back 1,400 metre horses in this race.
Well, he's making good sense in hindsight, eh?
Yeah, hindsight's wonderful. But when you're getting a lead time that's goes 11 lengths quick, it's sort of survival of the fittest, isn't it? At the end of 1,200 for a young horse.
Yeah, definitely.
I think there's two horses here that if you back them, you're stiff. Particularly one, like Anamoy has gone backwards slightly on its overall figure, which gets back to what you were saying, Curly, which is a really good way to measure suited and not suited. This horse is in as good a camp as there is. It'll be bred as well as that can be bred. You know, it was on track to improve its figure, and it hasn't, because it was unsuited by the way the track played, and they all overcompensated it. And with the draw he had and the tactical speed the horse doesn't have, he just has to cover so much more ground. And the other horse, General Bow, has gone backwards by 0.8 of a length.
Yeah.
Just proves that this horse was like just, really shitty spot, and there's nothing she could do about it. So I think if you back, particularly General Bow, if you backed it early or chased the drift out because it was unfit, brave and you were stiff, and I think if you keep gambling like that, you'll win. I didn't do it, but if people did, I think you're on the right horse.
Yeah. Interesting couple of types as well in that top 5. Like, you got Artorias is a completely different shape to General Bow, who's a completely different shape to Ingratiating, who's a different shape to Enthar. You got a real mix there, and I think Artorias and Animo were the two that really just screamed 3-year-old plus. So we'll see how they come back. I would be surprised if Artorias we see again before it's a 3-year-old.
I think Animo is a really exciting horse. I thought it was a poisonous price and a stupid bet to have on Saturday at the price.
Yeah, it wasn't going to be suited.
Even if it was suited, it still would have had to, for this horse to be suited the way the track plays by race 7,
yeah,
they're onto this, and it just gets pushed wider and wider. If Anamoy raced in race 4, it probably wins because he's close enough.
Yeah,
because they're still hugging the fence. It's just one of those horses that was never going to be suited on Saturday, has ticked every box. I think it's a really exciting horse, Anamoy.
Yep, finished in lane 12, which is just a little bit too wide there in the straight. All right, the Oakley Plate, 1100, Dead Heat, Celebrity Queen, Portland Sky. Again, this was just a bit of chaos, really, wasn't it? But I think it's fair to say that Dirty Work was severely disadvantaged by the way the track played and the way that the race unfolded. It's probably pretty unlucky not to win this.
May I just follow on from that, Pistol? Just want you to double check for me that Dirty Work did successfully beat home and as an ancestry.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
I saw that tweet, and I don't know if I was still playing or I was finished, but I was pissed. And I couldn't remember what the bet was, but I didn't need it either because I was having enough head noise as it was out there.
It's the only collect I had for the day.
We had avocado. God bless ownership. Yeah, you were right, Kels. No, well, actually, we were both right. The horse was not just going to get a shit run. And
it did get a shit run.
But it's still almost won. Probably should have. Too good to you. I think Dirty Work is the horse to follow from the race. Fastest last 600 of the day, third fastest 4, fourth fastest last 200 of the day, puntingform.com.au. That's with interference. Brooklyn Hustle has gone enormous. Second fastest last 600, fastest last 4 and 2. Push through a little gap, but it's always going to sort of be there. Dirty Work, I thought, could sit a little bit closer. Again, Pikey, wow.
Outstanding ride. And in the finish.
I know we make a thing of me bagging him. He rode outstanding on Saturday, but it was his track. Rail off, run on.
There's no need for the cause. You can just stop after he rode outstanding Saturday.
He rode outstanding on Saturday. He's a very gifted rider, and his thirst and balance here and the death here was just a thing of utter greatness. If you were on Celebrity Queen, you are never allowed to bag Pike when he makes a mistake again in your life, because without him, you did your money.
Exactly, on the post.
I wasn't on it, so I can. I'm a breeder.
You saw that photo on Twitter?
Yeah. But he does it every time. Every time he's in a photo, he is horizontal, going right across the line. His legs are sort of almost kicking up out of the irons.
What's he doing? Does he do Pilates or something? Yoga?
He's just, I don't know. probably learnt to do it on a tractor or something like that. You never know with him.
Well,
he's a freak.
I played golf with Mickey Walker, and I've done a few. They don't look like they look sore and like it's a hard life.
Yeah.
They don't look like they could get horizontal and like cuddle the neck of a pony at 65 k's an hour. Like it's fucking unbelievable.
Yeah.
Amazing, really.
Um,
I was going to ask you about Brooklyn Hustle. I don't know why I don't like this horse.
Because they talk about too much in the media, and
Probably.
as a hardened victim punter, well, not a victim punter, but we're a victim of like the day to day. Like we hate narrative. We want results. We want like integrity. We want real shit. And this is one of the sort of trophy horses for narrative and yarn, and it just shits you because of that. That's what happens.
Yeah, good summation. Thanks for that.
and it's a dirty, filthy backmarker that runs the same race every time and will probably always start unders because it always flashes home. Like, it will go around I'm not sure what its next race is, but it'll go around unders.
Oh, if they take this horse to Flemington or a Caulfield track like this, I'll be very tempted to back it. It's just Moonee Valley. They sent it there a few times last prep. It's never going to be suited there. I don't know if you guys spent much time reviewing this race, but it's pretty hard to bag almost anything in the race.
Yeah, it's a tough race to review, isn't it?
What'd you make of Zuctori?
I thought
Good,
Ciurleo was flat. I thought it was in the right spot, and coming to the corner, I was like, it's going to go close here, and just
A little bit crowded though.
yeah, it got just ground home. I thought, but yeah, it was still good. I think you're right, Dickens. If you liked anything and you backed it, with maybe the exception of Anders, what do we make of that? Looked pretty weak.
The problem is Anders was like nothing won where it was all day.
Yeah.
That ride, and it's gone around at what price?
Probably $8, I think.
Hang on, I'll tell you exactly. So it was like backed and then drifted out to $8.50, but it was backed after 9 a.m. and then the bigger dog said no. But it's got around $8.50. Next start it'll go somewhere and it'll start 20s, and you'll be completely greyed up because it's doubled its SP, and it might be at Moonee Valley or something where leaders have been winning. Like it'll just every horse here you can make a case to back next start. Given you get a fair price.
Yeah.
Like even Ancestry will go to Moonee Valley or something, or Flemington where it's won, and you get 3 times the price. And you go, because like if all these horses race in 2 weeks at Flemington over the same trip but down the straight, everyone will horn up for these backmarkers again. But 8 times out of 10 at Flemington, the backmarkers are the least suited for whatever reason. Yeah. It makes no sense, but it's just what happens. I'd be trying to, as we often are, to go against the flow, to get a price and try and get a result.
And let's face it, the first 7 across the line, the margin was 1.1 lengths, and the entire field has covered 5.8 in the finish, so it screams crap
I
shoot.
thought Ranting was a nice performance. Mizzy was good. It was very, very wide.
Yep.
And then Standouts run second last. It's clocked the third fastest last 100 metres of the day. Look, it's completely confusing. Look.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like betting. Look, reviewing is the most important thing in racing, in my opinion, if you want to do it for a living. But just like betting, sometimes you can't force it.
Yeah.
Fuck. Betting.
What do you think, Curls?
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Yeah, I agree with you. It's
just great.
Just great. Like some will say that betting into the hardest races on the day is fucking bad betting too. Like it's You just mentioned there that every horse has got within 5.8 lengths, and the horse that's ran second last has clocked the third fastest last 200.
Yeah, I think we did pretty good to dodge these races. Bar Behemoth, who I launched into. Be wary of the slow tempo build up, maybe.
Possibly. All right.
I'd preface that with I wouldn't give a fuck. I'm trying to stop swearing. I wouldn't give a shit about slow. What? I'm trying to stop saying. I wouldn't give a shit about slow tempo build ups most of the time. Don't take everything that we've just said as like gospel. I think it's more relevant leading into a big Group 1 or a race where they're going to go real hard, and they might be a little bit exposed for that preparation.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Every other day of the week, they run slow everywhere. So you're going to be coming out of slow races and you're going to go into slow races.
Okay, let's head north. Queensland. Curls, you want to start at Toowoomba with Mashani Conman?
What wouldn't I want to start there, Peter?
Bad beats. Get yourself fired up.
Just
what race number is it?
This is race 4 at Toowoomba.
I'm going to watch it now. Turn the sound down though, hey? Or do you want the sound on?
No, sound down because we'll get the footage up now.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Is that you on a roof there?
Oh, hell. So, Mayday...
Is it the 5? Is it the 5?
It's missed the start by a conservative 3 or 4, hasn't it?
4 to 5.
4 to 5 lengths.
I'm watching it now live. I haven't seen it. What price did you take?
We took $15. We had one unit at 15s. I thought it was the overlay of the evening.
Oh, no. He's got a stack of pony.
Chris Caserta on board.
Where's he going, though?
Leaders like odds on, well supported.
Boom Ranger.
Getting an easy lead.
So where's he going on ours here? Is he punching that up? Yeah.
Well, he just can't win after missing the kick anyway.
Oh, he's built through he's rode that well through the field. Oh Jesus! I still think we're going to win. Going past the 300. Oh.
0.2 of a length.
It was just a matter of how far. Honestly.
What is that? What was that? 6 lengths to third?
Yeah, 3.7 to third and then 5.5 to fourth.
Yeah. That really summed up my weekend, and had a few bets at Gatton yesterday as well, and I think every great bet into ran second. It was just a feast of seconds. Like that's like a unit at $15.
Sets up your week.
Quite ill. So that was race 4 there at Toowoomba, and that was the Bob Butler Maiden, and I had a testimonial for Bob Butler Saturday night, so they got me on stage and I had to go through the form, and before I jumped up there, one of the guests on the evening was Tony Gollan. And he goes, what 2 do you like here? And I told him, the favourite will lead and be hard to beat, but I'm on Mashani Conman at 15s. Gollan's gone and brought both horses in the Calcutta, run the Quinella. So even when he doesn't have a runner, he still wins races. There's no trainer in better form than T. Gollan, I tell you, in Queensland. Even Saturday, like Invincible Al, winning was at odds that, that ran a place as well. The team's flying. Interesting, I had a chat with him about it, and his race placement and tactics, and he actually believes in track bias, and jockey tactics are a big thing. So, 2 key factors, I suppose. And some jockeys up here just don't believe in track bias, and they'll just go wherever the run presents. So, it's all good stuff, all good info. But frustrating weekend on the punt, that's for sure. Seconds. Oh, we launched into one Friday night that led, and then the jockey let them get past her and decided to ask her horse to improve, and it's run second or third as well. And yeah, just seconds everywhere all weekend. It was just terrific. What
do you do? How do you handle that mentally? So you pack up yesterday and then sort of start to think about resetting and get ready for this show where we dribble and yarn.
No, you do a bit of research on hallucinogenic therapies. Whether I need to rewire my brain by using mushrooms or some other natural ingredients, I don't know. Then you go to bed. and then you wake up and then you have to talk about it again on this show on Monday. I might as well be in fucking Guantanamo Bay, to be honest, this morning. I was that sick on the results and looking back at the replays. A waterboard me or something would be more fun. No, you just got to cop the loss. I mean, obviously, if you're managing your bank well enough and you're not launching these things and over betting them, you know you're on the right horses. You just didn't get the little bit of luck that you needed. Mashani Comman jumps, I'll win well for the week.
Yeah.
You know, just in those examples everywhere. Yesterday at Gatton, you know, bet against a couple of favourites and we're on the horses that ran second. You know, it's just the way it goes. You just got to keep buttering up. That's all there is to it. Like, I think if you're backing horses that aren't competitive, you got an issue. We all spec the odd horse at a price because we've found something that the market hasn't. You know, back in its data or in this setup on the day, and sometimes they don't perform for whatever reason. But you know, more often than not, we're backing horses that are in the finish. It's just a matter of we get that little bit of luck that we need along the way, and it'll change. And next week I'll probably win 100 units. Next week I'll get all the luck. You know, it's just happening.
Yeah, I think it's just about taking the time to review not just the races but your decisions and try and slowly figure out the little weakness you might have and just try and get rid of it. Like on Friday night, I spoke to you, Kels, about the actual race just before it, the race one, and I like the trial of the winner and the third horse. But I backed the third horse because it should be like outside lead. Race one, the Valley.
Yeah.
But the other horse was just too good.
Yeah.
But it's where it settled in run. Like, I think TV said it couldn't win, and he was right. Like, 9 times out of 10 or more than that horse doesn't win that race in Moonee Valley Race 1 on a hot night.
Yeah, that was a big win, wasn't it?
Yeah, so, like, in hindsight, at the moment, I'm going to go through it again today, but I think the answer there is just not to bet. Certainly not to back. I thought the winner was more talented, but as you know so well up there in Peak, like at Perth, like, sometimes it doesn't matter how talented you are, it's about where you settle and run.
Yep. I think I get more upset when I bet a race and it doesn't pan out how I anticipate. Like, you know, I'm doing a lot of work on the maps, and that's like I'm putting a lot of weight on the maps, particularly, you know, up here, because I'm not expecting jockeys on the third tier provincial meeting at Queensland to be able to outride the field to get the horse to win. You know, I need the horse to be able to land in this position, whether the jockey wants to or not, because that's where the horse is going to land with the speed map, and then hope they stay on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's something that we're constantly working on. Like, now that we're back on track, Pete, like, it's about taking the time to go through the map before each race, because we're pricing every race, but we're pricing them off what we predict the track's going to play.
Yep.
So then we've got to try and change it a little bit and tweak it, but it's crucial. Like, the map dictated every result on Saturday at Caulfield. Maybe bar like defibrillate. But apart from that, the map played a really key role in the result.
Yes, it happens, and then, you know, we've seen that it happens a bit. It happens everywhere, but Eagle Farm was, you know, some good examples there on Saturday of races that the best horses were able to be on speed and control and win. Like Tycoon Evie was a good example. You know, she stepped up in trip, but was able to get a nice run in transit. And, you know, once that happens, it's hard to hold out. Race 2 was a race that we bet into, you know, and we're on quality approach, thinking it's going to sit behind the leader and get a nice cosy run and probably just have too good a turn of foot, and, you know, the race goes out in minus 11.4.
Yeah.
You know,
what chance are you? Like, what?
You're just none. The saving bet in the race was half a unit on Joymaker. It's to cover the bet, and it's, of course, naturally run second. Right. Yeah, I mean, all those little things. I still don't think it's the wrong play. The map didn't work out on the day, so that's a big thing for the suited and the unsuited when you're talking about your bets and reviewing, for sure.
All right, week ahead for you, Peter.
Just be Ascot and Ascot, I think. Don't know why it'd be any different. I'll just double check that.
Week ahead, and he's coming off a frustrating week, guys. He's been winning for too long for that to be a habit, so it's going to turn around. Probably time to get on board, support the show, support the content, support Curls. Where are you betting?
Ipswich Wednesday, Eagle Farm Thursday, Friday off. Thank goodness. There's only Townsville Friday. I think that's another little thing that I've got to look at. Obviously I try to provide plenty of action for subs, but when there's like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday night, 3 meetings Saturday and a meeting Sunday, it does get pretty hectic.
The Friday night into Saturday is intense.
Yeah, so Friday, no racing Friday night in Queensland, which is genius because we've got the Valley and Canterbury on, so you reckon you just sort of wedge in there for turnover and maybe flick one of those earlier in the week meetings. But here we are. Saturday is Gold Coast, Toowoomba Saturday night. The Metropolitan meeting is at the Gold Coast. I think it's like the Aquas Jewel or the lead up. I don't know what it is. No, it's not actually.
Sunny Coast by the looks.
Sunny Coast, yeah, Sunny Coast. The Sunny Coast, the dual qualifier. So the Metro meeting's at the Sunny Coast, and then that will probably be the end of it. There's actually Sunshine Coast programmed on the Sunday as well. Would you believe?
Backing up.
Double header. Sunshine Coast. Almost a waste of time doing form there at the moment. You just back Stu Kendrick or Nat McCall and just follow the money.
Sounds all right.
It's an edge.
That's the pearl I have given for today.
Dickens, you've got Hillside at Sandown. There's a bit of Kilmore
it's a huge week. We'll be betting tomorrow at Bendigo most likely.
Yep.
Then we've got Hillside on Wednesday. Again, don't know where they're going to put the rail. Kilmore and Pakenham, where we filled up maybe 3 Thursdays ago. It was a really good day there at Kilmore into Pakenham. So we will be betting, hopefully. And then Sale and the Valley Friday, we'll probably bet both venues. And then we've got Australian Guineas Day at Flemington, where unless something bad happens, we'll both be on track. There's also Wangaratta, a couple of maidens. We'll try and find an angle there too. Probably not betting Sunday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, a stack of betting opportunities.
Yep. And I've got Ascot Wednesday, Bunbury Thursday, Ascot Saturday. Don't know Sunday at this stage, but hopefully.
Do you like the Thursday meeting, Curls? I do. I like that I can bet your stuff without like the distraction of my stuff, like the race to race. Like I'm not going to be at Kilmore. I'm just going to be at home doing the form for the rest of them, so I can just watch your stuff. Sort of stuff. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I don't know. Like I think they'd had a bit of a trial run there, sort of having the midweek Metro on the Thursday. I don't know, it doesn't worry me. It's just all a blur, really, to be honest. Yeah, I don't care, really. Just one
right, we might finish on that.
A day is great. One meeting a day would be great.
That's the mailbag for this week, guys. It's just all a blur.